Hi, Epic Recaps here, and today I am going to explain to you a 2020 horror thriller titled The Hunt. If you want to be spoiled, keep watching. The movie opens, and a woman sitting at her desk is alerted to a group text message. In the text chain, the participants exchange reactions after a humorous GIF is shared, as well as decry the state of the nation and the presidency. The texters then discuss their excitement at the idea of hunting down the deplorables. Agreeing that they shouldn't discuss over text, the group deletes the messages. The scene changes, and a stewardess asks a passenger named Richard if he would like a refreshment. Offering him caviar and champagne, Richard asks her if she's ever had caviar, and uncomfortably responds no. She grabs him some champagne and returning with the drink, he asks her if she enjoys working for the owner of the jet. She begins to tell him how sweet her employer is, when suddenly, a large man emerges from the cargo hold in a state of distress. A fellow passenger introduces himself as the doctor, and after subduing the man, he stabs him in the neck to stop him from talking about this, to which Richard states that this hasn't even started yet. The wounded man then grabs the champagne bottle and frantically swings it around. A mysterious woman appears and stabs him in the eye with a stiletto heel. Removing the heel, she casually detaches the eye socket and instructs them to drag the body back into the hold and is laid down next to an unconscious woman. The scene jumps ahead, and the same woman is seen awakening in a field with a gag locked onto her mouth. She stumbles around and sees another woman named Crystal, who is also gagged. Crystal ignores the woman, and uses the pin from her name tag to make a compass before running off. The woman wanders into a field where she finds other gagged individuals making their way to a giant crate. One of the men manages to open the crate and finds a pig and a cache of weapons inside. The woman finds some keys in a nearby trapdoor, and everyone unlocks and removes their gags. Learning that none of them know each other or how they got there, they begin to arm themselves with the weapons. Out of nowhere, the woman is shot in the head from afar, and panic ensues. Another woman falls into a pit trap, and is impaled by a spike. She is rescued by one of the men, but after they step on a landmine, they're both blown up. The rest of the group scatters in the chaos of gunfire. 4 of the escapees make it to a fence and begin climbing over it to the main road. One of them is killed via bow and arrow while trying to escape, and is blown up for his efforts. The remaining 3 discover a gas station and stumbling inside, they meet an elderly couple named Ma and Pa. The escapees learn they are in Arkansas, and calling 911, the escapee tells the operator there's been a massacre, just like it was described in Manorgate, and tells him to Google it up. Informed that help is on the way, Pa asks him to put away his gun, and when he cites the Second Amendment, Ma asks if the hunters are also doing the same. When one of the escapees who had been munching on some donuts suddenly begins convulsing, Ma uses a gas bomb, while Pa uses his shotgun to kill the other. Before finishing off the man, he tells him that for the record, climate change is real, and bashes his head in. Cleaning up the dead bodies, they get a call from a fellow hunter, who tells them Snowball is on her way to them and unarmed. They're instructed to have fun with her. Shortly afterward, Crystal walks into the gas station and asks for a pack of cigarettes. The elderly couple tries to pull the same ruse on her that they did on the other escapees, but she takes a shotgun from under the counter and kills Pa with it. Turning to Ma, she tells the woman she messed up, stating that cigarettes in Arkansas is only $6, and shoots her dead. Inspecting her surroundings, she stocks up on bullets. Outside, she discovers that the license plate of a truck is a fake, and reveals a Croatian one beneath. Inspecting the truck, she discovers a trapped wire, and hides in the bush as she listens to the hunters over the radio. Overhead, the hunter's drone surveys the area, and is suddenly shot down by another escapee named Gary, who's a conspiracy theorist podcaster. Crystal appears from the bush, and proving that she's a friendly, she alerts him to the wire trap on the truck. After she admonishes him for alerting the hunters to their whereabouts, the pair make their way to the tracks. Jumping onto a passing train, they discover a group of refugees hiding inside the cart. Gary accuses the refugees of being crisis actors, who are there to teach him a lesson. He calls one of them Mohammed, and threatens to blow his privates off. Before Gary can shoot him, the train is stopped by Croatian soldiers. When Gary is unsuccessful in convincing the soldiers of Manorgate, Mohammed the refugee admits to Gary that he is indeed one of the hunters but the others are innocent. He reveals that the refugees and soldiers are real, and not part of the plan. Offering to give them a head start before alerting the others, Gary freaks out and shoves a grenade in the hunter's pants before escaping. Meanwhile, Crystal rushes a mother and baby to safety before the hunter explodes into pieces. Crystal is detained and taken to a refugee camp where she is introduced to Don, another escapee. Don tries to share his Manorgate theory with her and she is distracted by an arriving vehicle. A U.S. official named Oliver gets the pair released and drives them to the embassy. During the drive, Oliver probes into why they were selected for the hunt, and when he denies blaming the victim, Crystal becomes suspicious and kicks Oliver out of the car. She reverses and runs him over. Ignoring Don's hysteria, Crystal opens the trunk and finds Gary's dead body, along with bribe money and a map. As Crystal considers what to do next, she tells Don of the tortoise and the hare, a story that her mom told her as a kid. In this version, the hare kills the tortoise and his family after losing the race, telling him the hare always wins. When Crystal removes the knife from Gary's head, Don asks her if they are the hare or tortoise, just as the pig emerges from the woods. At Oliver's intended destination, the hunters are revealed to be the passengers from the private jet. Awaiting his arrival, they discuss their contempt for the pigs, and Liberty voices her displeasure when a fellow hunter refers to the group as guys, making him no different from the pigs they're hunting. Appearing is Sergeant Dale, a tactical consultant the group hired, who tells them to keep their voices down. When Richard goes outside to relieve himself, Don distracts him with the pig whilst Crystal slits his throat. Inside the bunker, the team is on high alert and is taken by surprise when Don releases the pig into the bunker. In the ensuing panic, the hunters shoot the pig dead. Arguing that they almost killed each other, Crystal begins shooting and kills the hunters one by one. Liberty misfires an arrow and refers to Crystal as Snowball. Unflinching, Crystal drives the arrow into her stomach. Turning her attention to the sergeant, the two army vets go at each other, and she takes him out without breaking a sweat. Crystal walks by Liberty, who calls her a hick, and before Crystal can shoot her, Don stops her from killing Liberty. She gives him a chance to question Liberty, and when she refuses to provide them with answers, Crystal shoots her dead. Don becomes hysterical but is interrupted when Athena calls out to Don via radio, asking if he killed Crystal. Don says he doesn't know Athena and refuses to disarm, aiming his gun at Crystal. Unconvinced, she shoots and kills him. After she tells Athena she just killed Don, she sits down next to Sergeant Dale. He tells her he's been training Athena for the last 8 months and Crystal tortures him to get the location of the manor. Afterward, she shoots him dead. The scene changes to a year prior, and in a flashback, it's revealed that Athena's group text exchange was a joke, and was leaked on the internet. Spreading on social media, conspiracy theorists have dubbed it Manorgate and believe Athena is hunting down and ridding the world of academically challenged racists. She defends her use of the word deplorable, arguing she should have used redneck gunslingers or gun-clutching homophobes instead. When she is ultimately fired from her job, along with the rest of the text participants, Athena demands to know the people who are spreading Manorgate on the web. 2 months later, the group decides to make Manorgate a reality and abduct those responsible for spreading the conspiracy theory. Crystal's profile catches Athena's attention and declares to the group that they found their Snowball. The scene jumps back to the present time and Crystal discovers Athena's manor in the woods. After she tosses her weapons away, Athena opens the gate to let her in. When Crystal discovers her in the kitchen, Athena tries to rattle Crystal by having her question whether Don was a hunter or an escapee. When Crystal calls her crazy, Athena admits she is crazy, and by admitting this, it makes her not crazy, only really mad. Accusing Crystal of passing the text joke as real and spreading fake facts, she goes on to say that their country belongs to the uneducated and ignorant, as much as it belongs to Athena, and that her people have to pay for the redneck's failures in life. After Crystal reveals that Athena confused her with another woman, the two jump into battle and go at each other, tearing the house apart in the process. Their battle comes to an end when Athena stabs Crystal with a food processor blade, which she uses to wound Athena with as well. As both are lying wounded on the ground, Crystal asks why Athena chose the name Snowball for her since the character from George Orwell's Animal Farm is an idealist who wants to make the world a better place, whereas Athena views Crystal as someone who spreads deception for her own gain. When she suggests the other woman should be Snowball, Athena asks if she got the right Crystal and learns that she in fact did not, and then dies. As Crystal is about to die, she sees a hare enter the house. Remembering her mother's words that the hare always wins, she gets back up and treats her wounds with a torch. Crystal then puts on one of Athena's dresses, grabs an obscenely expensive bottle of champagne, and makes her way to the plane. On board, She tells the pilot and stewardess that their asshole employer tried to kill her, and so she killed them. Telling them she wants to go home, she asks the stewardess if she's ever had caviar. Answering no, Crystal tells her to take a seat and dig in. Chugging down the champagne, she's asked how is it, and responds with, "It's fucking great." Let us know your thoughts on the film and whether you think it lived up to its controversial hype. For another politically charged movie, check out our next recap about 3 world leaders who inevitably started the First World War.